So you want to go bikepacking, but you don't know what to take? Well, I went through the exact same situation when I cycled and bikepacked Land's End to John O'Groats 2 years ago. Fast forward 2 years and I've finally decided to get it all up on YouTube. It's a 5-part mini-series which I will link with a card up there or there, don't know which part it will come up on. And yeah, I've decided to do a kit review for everything I took. So it was a solo bikepacking adventure. I wild camped most of it, and in those situations you got to carry everything you need. So this is by no means a go-to guide of everything you should take. This is just my experience. I improvised a lot with a lot of the kit I took. I actually only used, let's say, 2 official, so to speak, bikepacking bags, which I'll go through in detail when I lay all the kit out on the floor. And a lot of it was improvisation. So hopefully, if nothing, this can inspire you that if you are on a budget like I was when I did this, that you don't necessarily have to go out and buy all the top of the range kit. You can improvise with what you've got and make it work. Okay, so now we see pretty much all of the kit that I took with me when I did Land's End John O'Groats. Now the only things that are missing from this is the food. So in that bag there, and I'll get a bit closer, I'll put the camera down so I can pick things up and show exactly what I put where. That had all the military ration packs, so the MREs. So you can basically just buy these on eBay, or you can just buy dehydrated food, whatever. You basically, the principle's the same. You either boil the food in the bag or just put the bag straight into a pot of boiling water and it's ready. So if you're wild camping, it's fantastic if you know you're not going to have easy access for an evening meal. So throughout the day I ate, but that's it. Obviously I've eaten all them and I wouldn't choose to live on them, which is why there aren't any here. So I'm going to put this down now and start going through what I took and what I ended up leaving and any changes I'd make. So to start off with, I've got this saddle bag from Topeak. Now it was about 40-50 quid. It, English pounds. It did its job. It's got a few pros, but I'd say it's got a few more cons. So starting off, being a positive guy, one of the pros, there's the drying rack that you saw me use quite a few times in the videos. So just that little bit of webbing, it's fantastic to put some clothes that you've either washed or soaked from the rain, put in there, dry off as you ride. A negative is that it sways a lot, meaning when you get out of the saddle to climb, it's quite unstable. So I just stayed seated for every single climb I did to try and mitigate that. I did meet a guy, John, who I talk about in the videos in Pitlockery, and he had a restrap saddle bag that I've since bought, and he told me the sway was minimal when you're out of the saddle. So I'm yet to test that bag. I've still been using this one for when I commute. But yeah, apart from that, it does come with a awesome little bag. It's got a valve, if you can see, just there. So when you fill it up, and you've got all your stuff in, and then you've got that air pocket left, and I'm just throwing it in. You would never do it like this if you were out on, needing space. You can hear it. Tying it off, clip it off, little handle case, and it gets all the air out. For when I was commuting on my bike, this is what I used. I didn't want to use the new one. So anyway, so inside that bag went all the clothing. So as you can see here, and these are the exact shorts that I used. I took 2 Enduro shorts and then this pair of Castellis. You can see here, there's a gaping hole in these Castellis. They've got the Perfetto pad, which is so comfy. These are the shorts I wore on day 7 when I fell off in Edinburgh. And I'm glad I didn't bin them because I still use them on the turbo. 3 jerseys, and then the only civilian off the bike clothing I took was 1 t-shirt. I don't know if you call Russell or Russ. You get a sponsored t-shirt, not really sponsored, but yeah. When I stayed in a 4-star hotel in the Cairngorms, walking around with no shoes because they were wet, that t-shirt and this 1 pair of non-cycling shorts I took, it wasn't a great look. But you don't actually need more than that, because if you're doing a bikepacking trip that is going to be like really long hours in the saddle, you're talking 100 miles, 160 k's a day, it's pretty much ride, eat, sleep, repeat. And then what I'd wear when I got to camp, when I struck my camp and I got it all set up, got my cycling kit off. I had a friend who gifted me a lot of his old military kit, so I've got just this kind of softy smock that is really warm, and it's got an internal pocket there, so you can just pack it. And I'll do this quickly, but you can get this down to a lot smaller than I probably will do now. And just little things like this, just really practical. I'm sure you can find, and there you go, look, it's there already, really neat. You can find just civilian equivalents just from climbing and hiking kind of stuff. So I'd wear that usually to sleep with, because even though it was in August, it did get quite cold. I had a thermal top. They're the long johns, and a thermal top, and they packed down to absolutely nothing, and it was just a lifesaver at night because I didn't take a sleeping bag liner. And in hindsight, if I could add something to the kit, I would take a sleeping bag liner, because just that extra bit of warmth really helps you out from just trapping the air. And then I had these one pair of shoes that were the off the bike shoes. I did take the cleat covers, but these are so lightweight, and you see these on the back of the saddlebag on nearly every shot when I do manage to get my mugshot in there. Very much a learning curve whilst filming on that. It was never the intention to truly put it up. Anyway, I digress. Big shout out to my mate Duncan for hooking me up with all the ex-military kind of clothing and whatnot. Moving on from clothing is just next, really, you've got your clothing, your sleeping and eating, and you don't have to take all your food like I did. But for the sleep system, big shout out to my mate Vinny, who works for Vango, and he got me a really good discount on this tent. So this is a Helium 10, F10. I have used this tent a couple of times since. That tent, which I'll put a few pictures up on screen now, it's fantastic. You can get it set up in about 7 minutes, quicker if you're better than me, which I'm sure many people will be. And it is really low profile and it's so lightweight. Also got with that a ground sheet protector, which just kind of does what it says on the tin. And then that's my sleeping mat. Now on the fourth video, I do show this in the tent, and it is only about 5 centimeters thick. So with that, you only get so much comfort, but it's comfy enough and it's very lightweight. So I would recommend it because, it's absolutely tiny and just saves on so much. And since size is everything, that's my pillow. So this is a Trekology inflatable pillow, and I've used this loads of times in my hammock, and it's fantastic. So small and it does the job. But yeah, so anyway, many thanks to my mate Vinny. He still works there, and there's a small chance I might be able to get a discount code, because I would recommend these products, having used them quite a few times. And if I can get that retrospectively put onto the video, I will, but I won't hold your breath. And then the sleeping bag I used was again from a mate Dunk, so it's a military lightweight one. It's probably good to about 10 degrees Celsius, I say. Anything colder and you're meant to put this inside the medium. You can get that down a little bit. I read somewhere ages ago that when you're storing your sleeping bags, don't tighten them all the way. This is still pretty tight because it can affect the condition of them. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that was it. And then all of that went into this waterproof bag, which is it was absolutely fantastic. As I mentioned in the video, it does take a little hold to it from the crash, which I don't want to widen it, but it's just there. See it? So that let a bit of spray in, but other than that it was fine. And all I did was get bungee cords and attached it, did like an improvised rig to the handlebars. Now, you can buy bags that just hold it, and look, more power to you if you do that, but if you get anything from this video and you're looking at ways to improvise a setup, just think outside the box. It worked, it held, it was fine. It didn't, I did it on the bike, which I'll show you in a second. Rim brake bikes, no concealed cables at the front, it didn't have any impact on that. The only thing I bear in mind is you've got to look out for the width, because there are a few times when I didn't pack it as well as I had done previously, just getting to the shifters was pretty difficult. But other than that, it was fine. So then the only other things I had two of these pouches, which I don't think are from the military Bergens or bags, and they've just got these little clip-on straps there, and they went perfectly round the handlebars, one on either side. This one was my cook system, so inside it, it's got a canteen with a cup on the top of it, just a canteen in there, a cup, and then underneath it, and I've just got a spare one here, is just the canteen as well, the metal canteen. So that would go straight onto the stove, and this is a stove I would recommend as well. So this is the MSR little pocket rocket, I don't know if that's the official name, but it is absolutely tiny. And it fits inside that box, which in the palm of my hand is very small as well. And all that does is fit, if you haven't used these before, on top of the canister, like so. You screw it on, put a flame to it, get a light to it, and it's up. So I took two of these, and in hindsight, I wouldn't take two. I did 10 days, didn't even touch that one. Had used this one a couple of times, I think once or twice before, because usually when I go wild camping, I start my own fire, cook on it that way, leave no trace. This has got a little bit left in there. But yeah, if you want to do that, that's great. That just gives you more versatility if you want to be really self-sufficient and kind of off the radar. You don't need to do that. You can, if you want to stop and eat in the evening, that's fine. You can, and then you don't need to take as much food as, say, like I took. But it just gives you that option. And all the food, which was all the ration packs, went in this bag here, which was on the top tube. So when you look on the photo of the bike, when I put it up there again now, you've got the saddle bag, this bag, which is about a foot long, and the 3 toppy bags, and I have only used this for those 2 weeks, because it was 10 days there, 2 days to get back down to Edinburgh, Inverness. No problems with that, absolutely faultless. And all the food went in there, and then again, just improvisation. A friend just did this for me, just these pieces of like plastic taped together, and it just acts as a good windshield. And you've got your little stove there, because you shouldn't really do this in your tent. You can do it in your vestibule, but if it goes wrong, you're screwed. And then yeah, just that's it. And then first aid kit, and that's a lot bigger than what I took when I was with me, but as I'm Mr. Accident Pro and I fell off and I actually needed to use it. So that's pretty much it. All of that, you know, it was a tight fit, but that's everything I took. And then yeah, sorry, just the last bag is the top tube bag, which had the, you know, once I got going, it had the power bank in there, it had my phone, just easy access stuff, a bit of food. Now, I don't want to slam this bag because I have used it a lot since Land's End John O'Groats. Pretty much any long ride, solo ride I do, because I don't do cafe stops when I'm on a big ride of my own. I take so much food with me, and I've especially learned to fuel up more, you know, in the last year or so riding with the club I'm in. The zip on this broke, which, look, it's going to happen. It wasn't the most expensive product. You get the old phrase, buy cheap, buy twice. Don't always believe in that, but in this case it was true to its word. And it's just pretty difficult to get things in and out of it. The plus side is it is nearly fully waterproof. I still would recommend you put your phone or whatever that goes in there in a plastic bag. But yeah, I wouldn't buy that again, and I wouldn't buy the saddlebag again. I think, you know, if you take a minimalistic approach, you can do this. And if anything from this video, I hope it just inspires you to go and do Land's End John O'Groats in 2024. And certainly, if you want to bikepack it, you don't have to. You can stop at hotels. You can do that whole way. It ends up costing a lot, but maybe this is a personal opinion, but there's something exhilarating about not knowing exactly where you're going to sleep that night. So my plan was ride 100 miles a day and then find a field. And I don't know, that just added a little bit of extra to it for me. So that's a wrap. I've probably gone on a lot longer than I intended to. So I'm going to get this up in a day, and then next week will be the first of my Mallorcan videos from 2022. Love to hear your thoughts on bike packing and wild camping on the bike below. And please like, share and subscribe, because it really does help get the videos out there, as I am trying to get more people to watch them and inspire people to do a ride that a lot of people wrongly think is out of their reach. If you can ride 50-60 miles on your own, I'm a firm believer that you can get your head into the right state of mind to do this. So enough motivational talk. Enjoy your rides, make 2024 a year to remember, and hopefully this was beneficial to people. Adios, hasta luego.